Good morning. Today is Monday, August 24th, 2020. I spoke to you about the peace agreement between Israel and the UAE when it happened. And predictably, it is turning out to be a bit more complicated than it seemed at first, predictably. But improbably, it does seem to be moving forward. There are already numerous initiatives of governments, organizations, and individuals that are creating real positive relationships. And along with that is a spotlight on the small, recently developed Jewish community in Dubai. I've discussed that with you in different contexts in the past. Now, Dubai has 3 synagogues and a kosher caterer and good and increasingly open relations with the government. And they have a chief rabbi from Montreal, someone many of us know and admire, Rabbi Yehuda Sarna, who grew up in Hampstead. Rabbi Sarna is a brilliant, charismatic, creative, idealistic rabbi. He is a person who is willing and able to make the most of the opportunities that come his way, and some quite amazing opportunities have come his way. He also leads Jewish life at NYU. He lives in New York, and he commutes to Dubai. I have to tell you personally, it's always a treat for me to be able to speak with him when he comes home to visit. Amazing person. The road that led him to becoming the chief rabbi of the United Arab Emirates is a fascinating road. And he tells his story in a recent article in Times of Israel, and I highly recommend that you read it. It's amazing on many levels. What I want to share with you today is a story that he tells in that article, but it's not even really about him. It's about someone else that he and I admire. And ultimately, the story is about what it means to be a rabbi. So Rabbi Sarna has smicha, rabbinic ordination, from YU, Yeshiva University, and he received his ordination in 2004. Before he received smicha, while he was a student at YU, he worked as an intern at a synagogue in New York, the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, which is led by Rabbi Avi Weiss. Many of you may know Rabbi Weiss, or you may have heard of him. I have the great privilege of knowing and learning from Rabbi Weiss throughout my entire professional life. He is an incredible, unique rabbi, teacher, activist. I learn from him. Sometimes I disagree with him, always with love and respect. So this is the story that Yehuda Sarna tells as something that was formative in his professional life, and it's absolutely incredible. On the morning of September 12, 2001, the day after the attacks at the World Trade Center and other places. So in the next morning, September 12th, Rabbi Avi Weiss walked into the shul, his shul, covered in dust and ash because he had been at ground zero all night the previous night. When the attack happened, he went immediately, and he was there all night. He came into his shul in Riverdale the next morning. Yehuda, working as a student, was teaching Daf Yomi. And Rabbi Weiss said to Yehuda, "Would you come back with me downtown? We need to go back downtown." Yehuda was 23 years old. So Yehuda said to him, "But I'm just a student. The police are not going to let me through." And Rabbi Weiss said, "You're right." And he said, "Come with me." And together, Rabbi Weiss and Yehuda Sarna walked to Rabbi Weiss's office. Rabbi Weiss took out a piece of stationery and he wrote on it the following words: "Yehuda Sarna is a rabbi in our congregation." And he signed his name. He folded the letter. He put it into an envelope. He handed it to Yehuda. And he said, "Now you're a rabbi. Let's go." Now, clearly, Rabbi Weiss understood that Yehuda needed to be at ground zero that morning for the help that he would give to others and for what that experience would mean for Yehuda for the rest of his life, which, as Yehuda describes, has been and continues to be profound. But also clearly, Rabbi Weiss understood and understands that to be a rabbi is to go where there is a need. And even more particularly, like on that morning of September 12th, to go where there is a need and there is no script. There is no Shulchan Aruch, Code of Jewish Law, to tell you what to do. There are no guidelines to tell you what to say. But a real rabbi shows up. A real rabbi tries their best to figure it out, or at least knows when to be quiet and listen until they figure out what to say. That lesson has served Yehuda Sarna well. And it's a lesson that every rabbi needs to learn. And we, the Jewish people, are blessed to have rabbis like Rabbi Avi Weiss to teach all of us what it really means to be a rabbi. My friends, I want to wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon in person.